not about to sit here and lie to you, good people, and act like I'm not part of this cult. I mean fandom. This fandom. I was, after all, of high school teenage years when the books first made their way across my radar. And like all the other Twihards, I too flocked to the theaters for every midnight premiere. Disappointed, yes, but still loyal to the franchise every time. Now, I would like to preface by saying I was, and am, a vampire kid. Ah! Can you not? It started with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Perfection. Matured into Interview with a Vampire, Bram Stoker's Dracula, even Dead and Loving It. If it came out at night and drank the blood of the innocent, I was already a fan. Except mosquitoes, they can burn in hell. Then came shows like The Vampire Diaries and The Originals, shows I shamelessly watched every week for their close to 10-year runtime, which is now being prolonged by legacies because, spin-offs of spin-offs makes all the monies, huh, Binks? So naturally, when my Catholic schoolgirl self started hearing all the hullabaloo about this young adult fantasy novel with an intriguing title and even more intriguing book cover. Yes, I thought The Apple in the Pale Hands was quite sexy, so I borrowed it from a friend. After which I begged my mother to take me to my local Barnes & Noble, R.I.P., and buy the entire series. Wait, it's worth it. Which I still have. I hated that I loved it. Mostly for its lack of continuity with the original lore of vampires. I will defend myself by saying no. I do not like that they sparkled in the sun. All these new and inviting quirks in this vampire world was not what I grew up learning to love from the Transylvanian devils. The whole point of being a vampire is that it is a curse. Curse. Half human, half demon. Doomed to walk the earth, bound by the light of the sun. That's the whole point. Their faces do not crack like porcelain. Doesn't make sense. And they can, in fact, sleep. They absolutely cannot procreate, but I love to try. Damn it. And their eyes do not change colors based on their diets. No. Anywho, calm down. When I saw a TikTok in late July hinting towards a new release by Stephanie Meyer, I was skeptical. I thought it was a joke. Some hopeless fan art like Titanic 2, Return to the Sea, or the promise of the next season of The Handmaid's Tale, whenever that comes out. And we all know how well Meyer's gender-swapping Life and Death of the first book did in 2015. It did so well, I never even heard of it until this reimagining surfaced. Didn't know it was out. Then I started to see the physical book being held by excited 90s babies, and a shiver of delight rushed up my spine. I ran for the nearest internet device and searched for the title. There it was, Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. It's Edward's turn now. Oh. The cross-section of a deep red pomegranate on an iconic, sleek black cover. Long have passed the days where I begged my mother to drop me off at the nearest Barnes & Noble or Borders with a $20 bill and leave me there until I emerged, fresh book in hand, inhaling that sweet mid-page scent. So my adult butt bought it and I cliff dived right back into high school. I was 15 again, and I must say, even though I know exactly what was coming on every page, I still enjoyed it. The story was identical, almost word for word if I remember correctly. Which I thought might be annoying, but it was just incredibly nostalgic. It actually made me quite sad. The friends I made reading these books in high school are distant, both in location and, well, friendship. It was like when a certain smell brings you back to a specific place and time, triggering a memory you didn't know you still had. I was 15, hanging off the top of my bunk bed, enjoying an oscillating fan in the corner of my Johnny Depp-covered room. I didn't drive, or have a job, or bills, or worry about taxes, or a global pandemic, or planning a wedding in that global pandemic, or the world falling apart, or any of it. I did know Pablo, though. That part's been everlasting. I feel like perhaps Stephanie Meyer has matured quite a bit in her writing skills since the first release of Twilight in 2005, and this rendition has been a long time coming for Meyer. She had delayed its release time and time again due to outside forces that never quite made it the right time for her to share this version of her fleshed-out Meadow Dream with the world. In the original, Bella tells her story from the first-person perspective, and can therefore appear quite limiting. Not only is she human and boring, but she can't read minds. What? And Edward can. So his first-person narrative includes the thoughts of those around him, including the visions of the future in Alice's head. Suffice it to say, it didn't feel limiting at all. The only blind spot he has, as we all know, is Bella herself, which... Nonetheless, as nostalgic as it was, I stand by my initial opinions of the original story as I did in high school. It makes no sense. and it's actually a little boring. The first book, that is. Like, yeah, sure, it gets better later. A little, you know, it does. And honestly, this constant idea of a pasty vampire boy having all the options and time in the world with their uninterrupted youthfulness decides to go to high school? Perpetually? What? And yes, it took me 10 years to say it out loud. A 100-plus-year-old man dating a high school teenager is creepy. Doesn't matter that he's frozen in time. He's 109 years old, and that's creepy. But see, it wasn't creepy when Damon did it because he was never back in high school, and Elena was over 18 when they got together. And I mean, look at him. Look at him. It's not creepy with him. With him, it's not creepy. The majority of the book is just the two lovebirds getting to know each other. Literally asking, what's your favorite color? Like, it's very... In high school, I thought that was the epitome of romance. What's your favorite color? Oh, you're going to remember what my favorite color is, and then you're going to give me gifts in my favorite color, and it's going to be fantastic. You're going to bring me flowers in my favorite color and chocolate. It's going to be great. No. I'm an adult now. I don't have a favorite color. It's black, okay? I look good in black. That's my favorite color. Oh, you knew my favorite color. Nothing really happens until the baseball game throws the plot forward, just pitches it forward when three new and random characters just pop in with their planned conflict. It felt the same in the movie, though. Like, those really had their own casting problems, but at any rate, I did enjoy it. Its main selling point is its familiarity factor. In a world of remakes and sequels, it was nice seeing old content be brought back in a different way, even though it was the exact same story again. So go, read Midnight Sun, and may I leave you with a foreshadowing quote from the book that perfectly sums up the reading experience. So much suffering ahead, more than the joy, certainly. But the joy was so sweet and so strong that I would never forgive myself for missing a second of it. After the read, I was feeling so overly nostalgic, I binge-watched all of the movies again. Yes, I did, I know. And I fished out my old hard copies from the back of my closet and held them close as I watched for good measure. Please don't judge me. Or judge me. I can't control you. Just know I don't care what you think. As long as I'm having fun and not hurting anyone, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Be sure to like this video if you liked it. Comment below if you were a vamp kid or a goth. Links to everything are down below as always, and I'll see you next time. Stay lost. Keep reading. Don't be a lamb in a lion's den. Now that that's over, I'll be exiting this Volturi robe, putting my work scrubs back on, and crying about the fact that I am still aging every single day. Okay, bye! Use sunscreen, Edward. It probably would have worked, you sparkly bitch. Goodbye.
Chapter 1. First Sight. This was the time of day when I most wished I were able to sleep. High school. Or was purgatory the right word?